Hello friends, thank you for joining this webinar. We'll be waiting for a few more minutes for the candidates to join. Hello friends, thank you for joining in. We'll be starting very soon in a couple of minutes on master Excel formula classes and functions for next 60 minutes. Thanks for your patience. And now we will be starting this session. So let me turn on the camera as well. Okay, myself is Kailash Sharma, and I'll be the instructor here for today's session. And in this session, we are going to cover about Excel, its formulas, how to use the formulas, how to make use of some of the common formula, plus some of the complex as well, like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP as well. So let's start. The agenda of this webinar would be into few sections that we have divided. First, we'll talk about Excel formulas, the construction of Excel formula, what is the formula, and why to use the Excel formula, how to write the formulas in Excel, and calculation modes, like how you can calculate Excel formulas into different ways. Okay. Then we'll talk about the functions, the different type of Excel functions or formulas that you can make use of it. And if you are very new to the Excel and the formulas, then how exactly you can insert a new function or formula in Excel. Some of the basic formulas, functions we will cover, then date, and some of the reference functions. We'll also talk about a few more things that we provide as a complementary here, and that will be the agenda for today's session. So what you can expect from this session, the once you go through this webinar, you will be able to understand the structure and logic behind the Excel formulas. You'll able to write yourself the Excel formulas, even though we will not be covering so many formulas here or all the formulas here, but you will able to understand how you can insert a formula in Excel, right? And then make use of the formulas, try to understand how the Excel formulas can help you to streamline your work, make things easier. uh, when you work with lot of data, then formulas are something which are very helpful. So that we will try to understand. Then combining few formulas together, that also we'll try to do that. And identifying and fixing the problem in case your formula doesn't work the way it is expected to do, then how you can evaluate or how you can find out where the problem is, right? Then also some of the real time or the practice examples we will try to cover, where we'll try to bring the some scenarios, and then we'll try to show you how you can make use of the formulas. Okay, so let's start with the before we start, let me talk about myself. I'm Kailash Sharma. I'm certified Microsoft trainer, and I'm also expert and certified in Power BI, Power Apps. Most of my time has been spent on working on Microsoft technology, starting with Excel is the major time where I have spent, followed by the Power Platform that I am also making use, and I deliver many solution on using Excel, Power Automate, SharePoint kind of applications. I'm also an instructor at excelsurgery.com, where I share my expertise through different courses, articles, some practice files, then some of the tools that we have developed, and some of the ready-to-use codes that you can use it into into your day-to-day office work. I have 15 years of experience working with global MNCs, and I have done many automations. I'm also managing, I have also managed 100 plus developers team. Uh, Over a period of time, I have also developed many tools, 1,000 plus automations on different technologies, as I mentioned, Excel, Power Automate kind of solutions that we have, I have developed. My my main objective is to actually try to understand the problem, try to divide the problem into smaller pieces, and then bring some solution which is able to resolve all your problems. It should be cost effective as well and easy to use as well. That's how I try to use it. And Excel formula is nowhere uh, cannot be left like that, because this also helps you to automate some of the tasks, while formulas can also do many things, as someone might be looking for some big automations, but if you know the right formulas, you can make use of them and you can easily achieve what you wanted to do using or analyzing the data. These are a few of my certifications. I am PL 900 certified, also Microsoft Office specialist tag that I have got. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start with the Excel formulas first. So what is Excel formula? So the Excel formulas are the expression used to perform calculations, right? How you identify that it is a formula into any Excel? It will always start from equals. The equals is where you will be able to understand that this is a formula, and something where equals is not the starting character, then it is not a formula, right? Some of the formulas we have tried to given on the right side, like equals 3 plus 4, which is, this is a formula where it is doing an addition of 3 and 4, right? The next is the 3 multiply by 2, and adding 7. So these are arithmetic operators that I'm sure in the studies you may have gone through it already: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentials, that you may have already gone through. So these are few of the examples where we've shown how these calculations or operations can be done in Excel using formulas, right? The third is the sum, where you are trying to sum some of the cells into Excel and bringing the result. Yeah. The last one is the exponential, where you're trying to where you're multiplying, you're doing a sum of it, and then you are doing few multiplication and adding them together. It's like mixing of few things together. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, calculation modes. While by default, someone may have not seen this option yet, because by default it is automatic. What is calculation method means that when you are working on Excel file and you are creating some formulas or you are modifying some formulas, as soon as you hit enter, Excel calculates the formula automatically, right? This is because you have selected, or the default setting of calculation option is automated. However, sometime when you are working with a lot of data, thousands of data, and you have written too much of complex formulas, as soon as you hit enter after entering a formula, it takes minutes for it to recalculate things, right? And again, you type another formula, again it will take 1 more minute or couple of more minutes. So it's a time consuming. Sometimes you want Excel to hold the calculation until you ask for it. So that's where the calculation modes comes into picture, where you can instruct Excel when to do the calculations automatically and when to do it manually. Okay, we will also see it in the Excel where it is available. Let's start from the structure of a function or formula in Excel. So it has got three components, which are, or the three parts of a function, starting with equals. As I mentioned, equals is the indicator which tells that Excel that I'm going to write a formula into Excel. So that is your starting character, followed by the name of the function. Here, as an example, we have put sum, but this can be anything, any different functions which are supported by Excel that you can make use here. Like you might be doing an average, or you are trying to get the count of certain records. So that would be the function name, right? So after equals, you need to type the function name. Okay, and optionally there can be parameters as well. Majorly we have seen functions are used with parameters. Some are can be used without parameters as well. The parameters is basically you are telling Excel or the system that I want to do a sum, but then it need to know which cell you want to do the sum. So that's a selection that you are making, and that is what is called as parameter or arguments. Okay, so as an example, equals sum B5 to B9 cell. So B5 to B9 is actually your argument or parameter. So it's time to practice. So let's go into the drawing board and try to see some of the Excel formulas with some examples. Okay, so here is the first example of sum function. So imagine that you are basically handling the company's data. Now data looks like this. So let's see the data here. So what it has got is, it has got the name of the employee, their department, and their salary, bonus, and the total compensation. Now, if let's say the problem statement is that you need to find out how much money is being spent on employees salary for this month, or for the in total how much salary is being paid. Now, before we jump to the solution, maybe in comments anyone can mention that how this can be done. So here is the data, and you need to get how much is the total salary paid. What we need to do here is the question. Anyone in the is there in the webinar want to comment and say that whether I need to do a total of this, I'll do a total of this, I'll do a total of this, or something else. Okay, so we will start now. The total of the compensation that needs to be given, we need to do a sum of this column H, which is total compensation. As you select the column, you actually get the total automatically, right? So there is no need for you to check write a formula in case you just want to see it. But sometimes it's not like every time you can select a cell and then check it. For that you need a formula. Now there can be different ways, right, to write the formula. So let's start with how to insert a formula. So in Excel there are multiple ways you can insert a formula. Very first one is to start with equals. As I mentioned, equals is where you're telling Excel that I'm going to write a formula. So you will start with equals. Okay, but you don't know which formula you need it. So here we know that we want to use the sum of everything. So we'll be using sum, right? Now, another way to insert a formula is to make use of formulas ribbon on the top. So here you can click on insert function, and you can type what you want. So for example, you wanted a sum of things. So it will suggest few of the formulas which it understand that maybe you are looking for this kind of formulas. Plus it will also give you a definition of it. What is it does? So it says sum is the function or formula adds all the numbers in a range of cells. So when you will select some range, it will add up everything and it will show the number. And this is what we want, right? Also, the Excel also has the different categories of functions. So you can also click on, since we are looking for sum, it's not a text formula, it's not a logical or date, it is a mathematical formula, right? So it should be here somewhere into this option. You see this here, right? So this is also another way to find out. In case you know that what kind of data you have and you know the category of the data, then you can also look at the right category and find out that function name. Okay. Another way is, the last one is using insert function. Here on your formula bar, when you click on FX, then it actually takes you to the same option where you can insert the function. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to use this sum function. So I'll double click on it. Now Excel is smart enough to understand that what you might be trying to do. So when you select anything, and it will try to understand that maybe you are looking for summing few of the columns, and it try to understand because we have kept our cursor here. Let me just cancel it one more time. So when I use this insert function, I kept the selection here because I want the sum here. Okay, so this is something you need to ensure that you are following this, and click on function again, sum here. It is able to identify that yes, you are trying to add a sum of these columns. If in case it is not, then what you can do, you can also select like this. Okay, and here, and you can see a lot of things it is telling directly. What it does is it adds up the numbers. It, when you select something, it is also giving you that what would be the result. When you click on OK, what you will expect in that cell, this is the number that you will get. Click on OK, right? So this is what we were expecting. The problem statement was to find out the total compensation which is going to be spent this month. So this would be the total. Let's see it another way of writing the same formula. Instead of using insert function, we'll type it ourselves. So we'll say equals, we are telling Excel that I'm starting with the formula. As soon as you type S, it is trying to give you some options starting with S, right? If you further type SUM, you see that sum it is able to give you, right? And then it is telling that tell me first number that you want to add. So one thing I can do is I'll say this is the first one, and then it is telling use a comma. So I'm using a comma. Then it is telling second number, right? And then third number. Now this would be time consuming if I type it like this. This would be like too much of time. And if I close the bracket, see, now it is giving me the sum of only these many selected cells and not the total. So this is not what I wanted. Let's try it again. Sum. This time I will not select number one. I will select entire range that I wanted to sum up. So like this, and click on this, close the bracket, and then enter. As soon as I did it, it is able to get this. It is giving certain adjacent error that you can ignore provided if it is correct. But here it is actually telling that you have made a mistake. You might have made a mistake. Now, what is the mistake? Anyone who is there on the on our YouTube channel can comment where is the mistake in our formula. And we have a mistake actually. I'll wait for a few seconds and then I'll start and I'll tell where the problem is and how to fix it. Okay, so let's try to understand the problem. If I select this and it is telling me that it is doing a sum of only these many cells. If you notice, it has missed these three top cells. So what you can do first is you correct that range. So it's not H5, it should start with H2. So you type it like this. Another way is you can also drag it like this. You can tell Excel that this is what I wanted, right? So that way also you can do. Okay, let's see the calculation options also. Now, here, as we mentioned that in formulas, you will be able to find out something called calculation options, which is by default as automated. Now we will click on manual and let's see the difference. Okay. Now what I'll do is I will put few of the salaries as 0. But if you notice, the bottom sum is still showing the older values. While it is able to tell you that it seems to be incorrect, but still it has not calculated again, right? Now that is where the manual calculation comes. It makes the Excel faster when you have a lot of data and you are writing a complex formulas. Only for that places it is useful. Otherwise, you should always use automated. One more place you can find out that whether you have turned on the manual calculation is the left side option at the bottom. It will always say calculate. So basically, it is telling that your calculation method is manual. Hit a calculate button or you can change it to automated. So if I calculate, you see now it has calculated again, right? Okay, let's see another scenario. Similar data or same data will change our problem statement. What is our next problem statement is that you need to find out how much money is being spent on sales employees. So the data is is of multiple departments, right? You can see the departments here. What we want to do is only the people who are into sales department, we want to get the how much compensation we have given. Now, how this can be done? Obviously, the sum function cannot be used here because it is doing the total of everything, right? So this will not help. So what can be done here is making use of sum if function. What is sum if function? Sum if function do the sum of the cells that you will select. However, it takes criteria as a parameter. It will ask you that while I'll do the sum of this column, but you tell me that which row I need to consider for adding up the sum. So you can give them a condition. The condition can be do the sum of the compensation column where the department is sales, right? So that is the condition that we are going to give. So how this can be done? Let's try to make, I'll delete this formula and let's try to correct this as well. This plus this. Still telling the same error as our calculation is manual. Let's make it to automated. Okay, so we'll do equals sum if. What it says is if you see the definition, add the cells specified by given condition or criteria. Okay, so this is what we are going to use. First, it is telling the range, right? Range where you want to apply the filter. So we wanted only the salesperson data. So I'll say select this range. So this is my range. And what is my criteria? The criteria is sales. Means I'm telling that out of these cells or this range, pick only the records which are having sales. Then the third parameter is because it cannot do the sum of these columns, right? It needs to also understand that if it is able to identify the columns, then which column to sum up. So that is what you will select here. Okay. And close the bracket, hit enter, and you have seen this, right? If you want to check it manually, you can filter it and then try to find out as well. Let's try to see. Okay, if we see the sum at the bottom, 346500, and I'll remove the filter, the same number here. Okay. Okay, with this, we will go to the next problem statement. We have some practice data again here available for students. So you see here the student details, their scores, their scholarship, fees paid. Now, what is the problem statement? Let's see. The student, the school needs to find out how many students are enrolled. So here is the data. While someone can select like this. So for example, if I select like this, I'm getting count 21, which is kind of not correct what I wanted because it also includes this header, which is student. But if I select this, I'm getting 20. So basically 20 is the count that is expected, right? But again, you may want to use a formula to get the same value. How this can be done? So first of all, you need to ensure wherever you are applying the formula, that there it should try ensure that there is no blank into it. Otherwise, the count may give you incorrect details. So for example, we know the name will never be blank or the student ID will never be blank. So these are the good fit for using this kind of formula, right? So what you will do, you will use equals and you wanted to do a count of all the students, so you'll use count. What it says, the definition counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers. Okay, it says number. So that means on name it may not work, but we'll see if it is working or not working. Accordingly, we'll change our formula. Okay. So we'll start the bracket, and again it is telling you can select few of the values one by one, or if you have the entire range available, simply select the range, close the bracket, and hit enter. What it says is 0, right? Now why it says 0? The reason it says 0 is because count function only counts the numeric cells, because name is not a new number, it is actually a text. So it is saying that there is nothing. But if I change something like, let's say, the student ID here, it should say that yes, there is a one number. So it is able to count, but that is not our problem statement. We wanted here 20, right? So maybe this is not the right place to apply the formula. We'll use it here. Count, select, and close like this. You got 20, right? Okay, so let's go to another problem statement with related to count only. So your next problem statement is that you wanted to find out the number of students enrolled for scholarship. Now here we have also a scholarship, yes or no. While you have the total students available as 20, you wanted to know that how many have uh, applied for scholarship, right? So you may be expecting like 10, 15 somewhere. So let's see if we can make use of countif formula here. Okay, equals countif. And why countif? Because you are giving an additional condition. You simply do not want to count the cells. You wanted to count these cells with certain condition, saying that where the scholarship is there or yes, only count those records. Okay. What is the definition of it? Counts the number of cells within a range that meets the given criteria. Okay, so let's try to see here. Range is this. This is my range. And what is my criteria? The criteria is yes. So I'm saying out of this range, count the number of cells which are having yes. Close the bracket, hit enter. Okay, like this. Why there is a double quote here? Anyone in who has joined our WebEx can put it on comments. Why yes is given into double quotes? Why not simply just typing yes? I'll be waiting for a few seconds before I'll start. Okay, so whenever in any function you are giving text parameter, then you must ensure they are put it into double quotes. If you don't do it, it will give you an error. If I try to do it like this, you are not getting that what you wanted, right? So it is always required that if you want, you are instructing Excel that this is not something as a cell or something as a range or something as a variable. This is purely a text. So that is what you are trying to give, right? Like this. Okay, let's look at the one more example, which is count A. Now you will find it very similar, count, count A, count F, like that, but there are differences between count and count A. Okay, now let's look at some sample data. Here again we have students data. The thing to note here is that some places we have blanks, right? You see some places are not filled by the teachers and or the students, like that. So this is some data. Now what is the problem statement that we are trying to resolve? So we are analyzing the students data, and we need to determine how many students have entered remarks about their performance. Okay, so if you see here, the remarks are mentioned, but not for all the records or students. So this is where the count a function can be used. Let's try to see the definition. Count a, what it says, counts the number of cells in a range that are non-empty, right? And this is what we wanted. We wanted to know how many students where the remarks are entered. So we did not wanted to count everything. We wanted to count only the ones which are non-empty. And this is what count a is doing. Okay, start the bracket again. You can select individual cells which is not required here. You simply select the entire range like this, close the bracket, hit enter, right? Easy, right? What if I use count here? It will not work, right? If I try to use count here, try to do, it is going to give me value as 0, because count only counts the cells which are having numeric data. And if you see here, there is no numerics. They are all are text. So this is not going to help us. The one which is going to help us is the count a. Okay, let's jump to the next one, which is average. Okay, again, we have some data of student. As you can see, their scores into different subjects, and we'll try to see that how to calculate the average of it. Okay, so I'll go to average, and what is the problem statement? So imagine that you are a teacher reviewing students' performance in the class, and instead of checking individual score, you wanted to find out the average score for each subject to understand overall class performance. So what is the ask here is that you wanted to see, for example, in maths, while individually everyone has scored, but on average, what is the score the class has achieved? Now, one way to do it is just simply select, and you see the average is directly coming here, right? This is what you wanted to know using formula. So for that, we will make use of average. I'm placing my cursor here, equals average, right? This is the one. The definition is it returns the average arithmetic mean of its arguments, which can be number, names, arrays, references, and that contains numbers. Okay, so we are going making use of average. Let's double click, then select the range. Even if you don't close the bracket, what happens? Let's try to see. I'm not closing the bracket. I'll hit enter. It understand that maybe you missed to put that bracket closed, so it automatically picks that and fill it for you as well. Okay. Okay. If you don't know some of the formulas, let's say you got some Excel file where the formula was already written and you didn't know what is this formula, you can also try to see, like, click on this, and it will tell you the definition and other things, right? So the formula was already there. I just hit the function. It is kind of a help of it, but sometimes you still need some more information about the formula. Maybe this is not enough for you and you don't have the data as well to give a try. You can make use of this help on this function, right? So this gives you takes you to the Microsoft documentations also, where you will be given more information about this function and some sample data and how to make use of it. That also you can use. Okay, so what was our problem statement? To get the average score in each subject. So maths is done, science also, and English needs to be done as well. Now, how this can be done? One way is that simply type the formula again here as well, which might not be a good practice, because if you have, let's say, hundreds of column or rows where you are going to do this kind of work, now copy pasting or writing the formula every cell may not be a good practice, or it will take a lot of your time, right? What you can do, you can simply copy and then paste to the next column. Now, if you see, if I click on here, it is able to understand that since you have copied from here to here, your range also needs to be changed. So your earlier formula was referring column E, but when you copy paste it to column F, it has to refer to column F, right? In the range as well. So like that, you simply do a copy and it can actually copy paste. If you are doing it like in one go, copy and paste it all together, it will work same way, right? Like this. Okay. So this is how you can make use of average. Now let's go little deeper, that your problem statement is changed little bit, that you wanted to get the average of only ninth class only, right? Your data has got multiple standards data, as you can see, and your ask was to get the average only for ninth grade. Okay, so let's see if we are able to do it here. We'll say average if. Now why average if? Because we are trying to make some conditions. We are just simply do not want to calculate average. We have a condition in hand, and that's where the if word is added, which is average if. So what it says, it finds the average based on the condition and criteria, right? So if you do not want to type everything, if you know which formula you want, simply just go to that formula, press tab. Okay, I'll do it again. AV, and I move my cursor to the formula where I want and press tab like this. You can make use of this as well. Okay, now let's try to see. So it is asking me three options, right? Which is range, criteria, average range. So first is we wanted to see only the ninth grade students average. So I'll select the range. Now, what is my condition criteria? Ninth grade, right? Now, ninth grade is a text. So again, I'll use a double quote and then like this, I'll put it. And the average range from where the average needs to be calculated like this. Close the bracket and hit enter like this. Okay. So now what it is doing is it is doing average of only ninth grade students. Okay. Okay, great. So let's go to the next one, which is subtotal. So subtotal is basically used where you are using filters, right? So here, if you see here, we have data where some filters are also applied. So the ask might be like when I'm using these filters, I want the total here instead of full total. Based on the filter I'll apply, the sum should come. Now this is where you can make use of subtotal. So let's look at the problem statement, that you are managing the sales report and you need to calculate the total sales and final sales amount for different regions. However, you want to get that flexibility to filter the data and still get the accurate totals. So you wanted to see that whatever filter I'll apply, according to that the total should come. If you try to make the like normal formula like sum, and then you are making use of like this, close the bracket, this is your formula for sum. But if you select like completed, you get the same total, right? So this is not what we wanted. We wanted that based on filter that you are applying, now the total should come like 22050. That way it should come. Now this can be done using subtotal. So we'll say subtotal. What is the definition of this? Returns a subtotal in a list or database. Okay. Press tab. Now it can do many things. While we are looking for sum, which is at ninth place, as you see, but it can do many other things, which is average, count, max, min, and many other as well. So we are going to use sum, which is 9. So I'll press 9. So I'm telling that I want a sum, and then it is telling that what is your range, right? So I'm going to select my range like this, close. When you're not applying any filter, it will not matter actually. It will give you exactly the same result as you are getting in sum. But when you apply the filter, that's where the magic happens, where it is doing the total only the ones which you are selecting. Okay, so here like this. Same way you can do it for other columns as well. Okay, we will start next, and before going to next, maybe I'll request people to also uh, give us some suggestions what kind of trainings that you might be looking from our side in the next webinar. You can suggest and put it in the comments section. Okay, great. So we'll now go to the min and max functions. Now, again, we have some data here available, and let's say what you wanted to know is that how much is the maximum score that the students have achieved in different subject or overall total as well. So let's try to use the total for this. So you wanted to, so let's see the problem statement. You are a teacher, you want to quickly find out the highest and the lowest score in the class, right? So what you can do is you can make use of min and max functions, right? So min means minimum, max means maximum. Okay, so you will give a range and you will say that I want the minimum of whichever is the lowest value, I want to get this, right? So for example, equals to min. So what it says, returns the smallest number in the set of values. Okay, so I'll select the range and close the bracket and hit enter. 67, and where is that 67? If we look here, here it is, right? So it is able to identify that there is the lowest value is 67, right? Now same way, if you want to do it for other subject also, just copy paste, it work, right? So what we are trying to calculate here is minimum, right? Min. Max also, you can do the same. Max, what it does is it returns the largest value in the set of values. Okay, now select the range. I don't want to make use of min, but only till here, and close the bracket, hit enter, right? Again, copy paste, it will work like this. Okay, very quickly we'll go to the next one as we have few more to be covered. We'll go to the round. Now, again, we have some data, sample data, and you will notice some of the information is into decimal values. So here you see the numbers, the total marks which are there are in some decimal values, plus the percentage are also in decimal. Now, what is your problem statement? So you are a teacher and you are trying to prepare the student's performance report, and you do not want to include the decimal values. It will make it complicated. So how you can do it? You wanted to ignore the percentage and you want to round them into the whole number. So how you can do it? So what you can do is this. For example, here is the total, right? It has got the numbers in decimal. You'll say equals round. Okay, now it has got few options, number and digits. Okay, now number is this, and comma, num digit is basically that from the how many digits you wanted to round. Okay, so for example, I wanted to round here to the 0 digit. I didn't wanted, like, if for example I wanted one decimal value, then I'll place 1. If I want up to 2 decimal values, then 2, like that. But here I don't want any decimal at all, so I'll press 0. Okay, now this would be the same because there is no decimal. if I try to drag it, now there are different ways. One is that I'll copy paste like this. It will understand that you are, since you have copied to the next row, it will understand and it will move that cell or the range to the next as well. Another way is you can drag it like this also. It should try to work. It will work like this. Now it has got rounded, and if you see here, 251.5 became 252. So it has rounded it to the next number available. Okay. You wanted to do in the remarks. What you can do is you can do a round. Now let's see how it works. So I'll select this and I'll press 0. Now I'm getting 100%. Okay. Now what is the problem with this formula? Anyone who is there on our channel can comment that that what is the mistake, why it is giving 100 here. Okay. I'll take, so the problem here is the percentage are stored into different ways into Excel. If I'll try to show you it in different ways, for example, right now on top you can see it is in percentage, but if I change it to general or number, it is actually 0.83, right? So actually it is less than one value. Okay, while users are able to see 87 or 83, but actually it is lower than 1. And since I have said that I don't want any decimal values, so it has converted 0.83 to nearest number as 1. Okay, even here also I can see it has converted to 1. So that is what it is happening. To avoid this, I can say that I wanted the rounding up to 2 decimal places, right? And now I'll change it. This also I'll change it. So here I'll change back like this. So 83.67. Now this is able to understand that I need to round up to 2 decimal places. So it is able to handle that scenario. I'll drag it and everything is done, right? Okay, with this we'll go to the next one, the date. Now here I have some data about the employees, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to calculate some of the information. We wanted to check that how many days the employee has spent in the organization from the last promotion. Also, when is their next promotion due date? Also, based on the contract signed, I wanted to split that information, the day part, which is 25 here separately, month separately, and year separately, right? Now, how we can do it? Okay, that's what we will try to see. So here, first of all, I wanted to see the number of days spent from the last promotion. So for that, I want to know today being date in May 11th, right? We want what we have to do is first we will try to see what is today's date. So for that, I'll use today, okay, and close the bracket, because today the system already understood that you are looking for today's date, so there is no input required. Simply drag it, so everywhere today's date. Now if I say in general, if it is, this could be a number, so if I say that I'll uh, from current date, which is today, minus last promotion is what, how many days the person has spent. So I'll say equals to this, which is today's date, minus last promotion, right? If I do this, I'll get the number of days which the person has spent in the organization, right? Easy, right? So this is how you can do it very easily. Simply from today, you are doing the subtraction from the to the last promotion date, and that's how you are getting it. And next promotion due date, if you want to do it, how this can be done. Okay, so let's say let's see the problem statement here is that you wanted to calculate the next promotion due date as well. So how this can be done is you can do a date. Okay, so we'll be making use of EO month. Now what it means is it returns the date uh, of last day of the month before or after the specified number of days. So for example, we will say that after their last promotion and add, let's say, 18 months to it, and then try to get some date of it. So let's try to see. So here start date is last promotion, and I'll say add 18 months into it. Right now what it is doing is it is able to add 18 days, but it's not coming the way we want it. So let's change the format to short date. Okay, so what it is doing is it is adding 18 months into it, and then the last day of that month. Okay, so it's not just simply just 18 months, because if you add 18 months it will still end up with let's say 9th February, right? But it is able to understand that yes, it is the last day I need to put. So everywhere you'll see the last day of the month, and not randomly like 18th 1 10 like that. Okay, okay, very quickly we'll go to the next part, which is get extracting information from the date. So here we have contract date, and you want to get the day part separately. So for that you will make use of day formula here. So what it does is it brings only the day part of it. Okay, and where is your date? The date is here, right? Close the bracket. Now it has given me some date, right, which is not what I was expecting. I want only the day part of it. So I'll select general, and this is what we wanted, right? So copy, paste. Same way, month. Okay, select the date, and then you get it, right? Again, there is a problem with the format, then change it back. Yeah, same way, year as well. Okay, so that way you can extract the portion of date separately, which is day, month, year, like that. Okay. Okay, let's see some VLOOKUP formula and XLOOKUP formula as well. So here again, I have few sample data. So here there is an employee data available here. Now what is the need is, let's say that this is there, it's a huge data which you have it, and on another sheet, while I have put it for the sample purpose in the same sheet, but it can be another sheet as well. So let's say in another sheet, as soon as you are entering the employee ID, you want their department, their age, and the office location. Three information you are looking for, based on, as soon as let's say I'll type 112, which is Leo, right? So you wanted to know what is the department of this employee ID, Leo. So for example, it should return to finance, and what is the age, what is the office location, like that. Okay, so how you can do it is simply use VLOOKUP. Okay, what it says, uh, lookup looks for the value in the leftmost column. Now this is a very important, because it will always look in the first column whatever you will select, right? And then returns the value in the same row based on the set the other parameters that you are giving. So I'll press tab. Now what you wanted to look, as I said, based on the employee ID, I wanted to get something, so I'll click on employee ID. Now, where is my data? That is your second parameter, table array. I'll select my table array like this and call index number. Now, what it means is which column you wanted to return. We wanted department, right? So where is the department? Department, it is here. So you need to start the counting from the left, which is employee ID, first column, second, third, fourth. So you wanted to return the fourth column. And whether it can do approximate, match, or exact. We wanted exact, so you press false or 0. So I'll press 0, hit enter, and you should get the details, right? Same way, you wanted age as well. I'll simply copy this formula and paste it here. Now we wanted age, so what should be our value? So it is giving me the department still here, right? Now to get the age, if we see from the employee ID, it's the third column, so I should press 3 like this. Okay, then the next one is the office location. I'll paste the formula again. Office location, if we see which column is this, this is ninth column as you see here. So I'll press 9. This one would be 9. Okay, like this. You can drag this copy and paste, but it will create an error. First of all, it doesn't have the name. So let's say I'll put it, even though I'll put it, sometime it may not work. The reason is because when I copy paste it, it has dragged that range also, right? So this might be a problem. Maybe in upcoming sessions, we'll try to tell you that why it is getting dragged, and how to ensure when you are dragging or selecting some range, it doesn't get dragged when you are copy pasting it. Okay, like this. Okay, next is the X lookup formula. Now X lookup, V lookup looks similar, but Microsoft understand that when you're trying to make use of V lookup formula, the formula itself, it says that it will always look the very leftmost column, right? Now this can be a problem. Sometimes you cannot keep what you want to look for that information. It can be possible that that employee ID is somewhere here and you're trying to find the information here, like that. Now that's where the VLOOKUP will not work. You have to adjust your data and then only it will work, right? So that's where the XLOOKUP comes into picture. Yeah. Now let's look at the problem again here. Here we have similar data that the product related information. Now look at this, then customer name is here. Okay, and this is what we wanted to see. So based on the customer name, you wanted to know the status of the order. Okay, now customer name is here, the status is here. So VLOOKUP will not work because it can search only from the left to right, and it cannot go to the left side. For that, we will use XLOOKUP. So starting with XLOOKUP searches the range similarly, but the only thing is that it can go any direction. Okay, that is the difference. So what you wanted to search, you wanted to search this value. Now in VLOOKUP, it doesn't ask you that where to find, but here it says that lookup array, where you want me to find out. I want you to find out here, right? This name needs to be found here. And what you wanted to return, I wanted to return the status. Where is the status? Status is here. Select status. Then it says if not found. If not found, I can say not available, not found, or not available, something like that, right? Not available. And again, match mode, I want exact match. Okay, and then finally close the bracket. Okay, you got it. Same way, if you want to use order ID, I'm copy pasting the formula and then pasting it again, but order ID is my here A column, right? So what I need to change here, anyone on the comment can in the comments you can mention that which parameter needs to be changed. Is it the lookup value, array, return, or something else? Okay, so since we wanted the order ID, we need to change this return array parameter. So instead of referring the status, it should return the order ID like this, and just simply hit, and you got what you wanted. Same way you can do it for product as well. So let's very quickly do it. Copy paste, same, and then paste it. This time it should bring the second column B, right? So I'll select column B, hit enter, and done. Okay, so we have covered most of the important Excel formulas that can help you in your day-to-day life, that you are working on different data in your office work or personal as well. There you can make use of these formulas very easily. Please do comment, as we mentioned, please do comment that what can be what you want us to cover in the next webinar that we are planning. We are also planning for a training session in upcoming weeks. So the training session of 5 days that we are, where we will try to cover maximum in Excel, where you will to understand how to work with Excel, using all seeing all the menus, what all these menus are, and how to make use of the Excel inbuilt functionalities which are given, how you can summarize the data, format the data, creating charts, formulas obviously, and many other things that will make you a pro into Excel. And for that, there is a Google form link which you will be able to find it in the comment sections. Please do nominate for it, and then we'll get back to you with all the details about the training. Okay, and we also, if you are looking for practicing these particular formulas, as we have gone through the practice file and the presentation deck, if you're looking for these details for your own practice, you want these files, please. There is a link which will also be provided in the comment section, where you can you can subscribe for it, and you can put your email ID. We'll get back to you and we'll send you these practice files along with the deck as well, that you can practice, and it should help you, because sometimes people do not practice because they don't have data. So that is what the problem. We are going to help you. We'll give you all the data so that you can easily practice, along with some formulas, pre-built formulas also we'll try to give you, so that you can make use of it. Okay. Okay. Now we are good to we are almost done with this. And as I in the introduction, we talked about our website. I'm an instructor at Excel Searchy. Let's very quickly go to that site, have a look. What is this? That's why in Google, if you look for excelsearchy.com, there you will be able to easily find it. It will give you the first result there. And this site that we have this is up and running from years, more than 8 years now. uh, Here we try to cover the basic needs of any user in Excel: uh, data visualizations, formulas, functions, and charts. Then someone who is also using macros. We have many articles on macros as well. Now also some of the predefined or created tools that can make your job easy, right? So we have something called download sections, where you can go through the available tools which are available at the reasonable prices, and you can make use of these tools. They are created in Excel majorly, and it helps you to do many things very easily, without, if you're working on a lot of data, these tools can be productive. Okay. We also have the training courses available, Excel courses which are available, and you can get these courses as well. We have Excel chart course available, where we have detailed out the very good looking charts, how you can make it with minimum efforts, and some predefined and sample data along with the charts, how you can make uh, create different charts. how to use color combinations into chat, make it beautiful. So those kind of things that have been covered here. We also have a VBA macro, someone who is already knows Excel there and wanted to learn something more out from Excel. That's where the VB macro comes into picture. When you're working with a lot of data, doing many rule-based works day in, day out, that's where the macros are helpful. We have a training available, having 80 plus video sessions available, along with the practice files, quizzes, and other things that you can go through. And then you can learn VBA as well as, and you can become like go-to person in any office, that someone who needs help in Excel, they are very first thing that will come is that let's go to this person, because he's already a pro into Excel. He knows Excel formula, he knows VBA, he knows how to visualize the data. So that's how you can make use of these courses. Okay, we know that we have overshooted by a few around 10 minutes, so apologies for that. We'll try to cover things on time, and we'll try to see how we can make the next session more productive and not to extend it this much. And thank you so much, and we'll look forward for you to come and join us in the next session as well. Thank you.